All right, so you're thinking about moving to Austin, Texas, somewhere in the Austin area, maybe one of the suburbs. Where I live, Dripping Springs, Texas, is very highly sought after. So, what if I told you you can move to Dripping Springs, spend $1 million on a home, and get to live on an acre in a house? Well, we'll call it the modern version of grandma's house. That's what I'm going to show you today. You're going to want to watch this entire video. When you're buying $1 million house, it is all about the details. And the details in this house are absolutely phenomenal. When I walked in, it felt like going back in time, but a modern version of going back in time. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're gonna wanna watch this, like I said. And wow, let's just get started on this. We're going to start this video walking out from the front porch because I want to talk a little bit about this community that this house is in. Absolutely great community, close to downtown Dripping Springs. And I just want you to look at the space between the houses. Okay, we got two houses here, two houses over there. There's a vacant lot there, house over there, vacant lot between them. That's your next door neighbor over there. So the vast majority of these lots are an acre or bigger. Community's been around for a while. You can tell these cypress trees that they've got lining the street here are large already. And it's quiet, but it's close to downtown. Onion Creek's right over there. And the whole community was built with kind of a, we'll call it a little bit of a throwback theme in mind, farmhouse style. The house that I'm going to show you today is a craftsman, and we'll start taking a look at it now. It is absolutely adorably cute. You got a big driveway going down, and again, it sits on an acre. A lot of the acres behind the house. We'll take a look at that after a while. But man, the details on this house are just absolutely phenomenal. I love it. A little bit of the specifics. You're 2,800 square foot. Like I said, $1 million on this one. A total of 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. And, we'll get a little bit of a look at the side. This will give you a great idea of something you can expect to pay $1 million for in Dripping Springs. This has had a new roof, new water heater recently. This is April of 2024. And when I start talking about details, let's start moving up to this house here. Before we go any further, one of the things that you need to know in Dripping Springs is that $1 million homes are not created equal. Everybody talks about Texas's property taxes. And if you buy $1 million house in some of these neighborhoods out here, if it's a 2.5% tax rate, you're going to have a tax payment of $2,000 a month, about $25,000 a year. This house, if it's appraised at $1 million, has a 1.5% tax rate, $15,000 a year. Okay, think about it's less than $10,000 less a year than a house in some of the other neighborhoods out there. I'm not going to mention the other neighborhoods because there's nothing wrong with them, but the tax rates are vastly different, and there are 2.5% tax rates out here. This one's 1.5. So just from that perspective, HOA fee out here is a little over $1,600 a year. That's pretty normal here. You've got some that are cheaper, but they don't have any amenities. So let's just start there. Now, attention to detail. These people have got it down. I mean, the flower beds are manicured. The house is in impeccable shape. It is built in 2012. The paint's in great shape. All of the stone mortar and stuff's in great shape. And we're going to start again with the details right here. Brick walkway. Okay, not a concrete walkway, brick walkway. Absolutely beautiful. It sets the stage for what you're going to see when you walk into here. The front porch is the same brick. Okay, you've got hardy siding, but that's what a craftsman house should look like. Look at the detail, the longhorns, and they call them longhorns because the top of that trim sticks out a little bit farther than the side trim. Those are longhorns above the door. The door is correct for a craftsman style house. Look at the windows. We've got black trim around the windows surrounded by that white. So again, it's something that you would expect to see on a house that may have been built in the 30s or 40s or even sooner. And then you come up, you've got a nice little not covered, but a trellised front porch. And that front porch is huge. Look, we got 2 rocking chairs on here, and there's room for more and a table. And that's your view out the front. Imagine your coffees out here in the morning. Okay, so again, if you're spending that kind of money, this is the type of thing you should be expecting to see in Dripping Springs. All right, let's take a look at this little beauty. Guys, it's Texas. We've got bugs. So why shouldn't you have a screened-in porch? And the great thing about the orientation of this house, here's a screened-in porch, very big. Here's the great thing about orientation. I've got a massive northwest wind blowing, which is our predominant wind in the winter, but that's southeast over there. So the wind blows directly across both of these porches in the hottest parts of the summer, and they're covered. So it may not be comfortable in the middle of the day, but in the evenings or in the mornings, you're going to have that prevailing wind. You're actually going to want to be outside on the porches, hanging out, getting your friends over, stuff like that, hanging out with the kiddos. Again, details. And we're going to start talking about other ones. Look at the door hardware. It's not just your normal run-of-the-mill Home Depot hardware, okay? Well, it's probably not hand-hammered, but at least it looks like it's hand-hammered. Look at the old doorbell. Looks like something that could have been done in the 30s or 40s. Opening it up. Got hard floors throughout. And this felt like walking into the house that I grew up in. You see these columns here, and you see how they're tapered at the top? It's a craftsman detail. You don't find that very often anymore. And like I said, when I walked in, I felt like I was walking into the house I grew up in, just a modern, updated, super nice version of it. Little half walls on the side to give you some delineation there. Sitting area over here to the left. Okay, and you could put, I'm not sure what you would put under that light here, but it just makes sense to be a seating area. And then on the right-hand side, here you go. Fireplace, storage, giant windows, and again, details. Look at the top of the windows. The mullions are correct for this period of house. It doesn't have those god-awful crossed mullions all the way down through here obscuring your view. It's an open view. You can see outside, okay? These windows on the side are casement windows. They're hand cranked, so they open sideways. They're not the ones that go up and down. So again, you don't have that big bar here. Details, details, details. The other thing I want to point out about the windows is, look, your trim is white. The inside of the window is white. The outside was dark. That's an added feature, and it costs more. It doesn't cost a lot more, but to have dual colored window panes, again, details, details, details. And when you're spending $1 million on a house in Dripping Springs, you better be anywhere. You better be seeing details. Okay, dining area here, and the flow here. I'm gonna point this out because a lot of people may not. They'll be like, "Oh, it doesn't flow. It's not open and big." Guys, that's not the point of this house. This house is supposed to be period specific. And it's supposed to be a craftsman style house. That's why you see these segmented rooms. Okay, they're doing that for a reason. That's what the designers are doing. Another thing I want to point out here is the walls. This isn't your normal knockdown drag texture walls or something like that. I don't know if it'll point out, but these are hand troweled walls. This is more of like a mortar wall that you would see. So again, it gives it a different feel, and that's a detail. These walls are a lot more expensive to do and to do correctly, and these are beautiful. Now we're seeing this craftsman detail on the inside of houses now a lot more, but another thing I want to point out, look at the baseboards. These baseboards are actually 8-inch baseboards, and then they've got this additional detail around the doorway, around the casings. That's the way they used to do stuff in the old days. You don't see that anymore. And then when you go up the stairs, you've got a painted front, you've got a wood top on the tread, and then you've got that nice little carpet going up so you don't slip. So cool. I'm going to wait for the kitchen for a little while. Guys, by the way, if this is the kind of detail that you like and the type of content that you like, subscribe to my channel. I love doing stuff like this. Oop, thought I had this light on in here. So half bath downstairs, okay? Just like every other half bath you see, right? Except for the chair molding. This is all custom built. Even down, you've got the custom edging on the bottom above the baseboard. You don't see that in every house. And, you know, again, the details. This sink is period correct. The door hardware, or the faucet hardware, period correct. The door hardware, look at this stuff. That's not just a normal piece of door hardware that you're going to find. You know, you can find it at Home Depot and Lowe's, but you've got to order it specifically. Let's go back into the master bedroom. I will say one thing I would like to see in here, and this is a detail that they missed in my opinion. I think doing these hollow core doors in this house, I think that was a miss, because if you look at the molding here, and guys, this is me being extremely nitpicky, but this is a colonial molding. Okay, that molding doesn't exist anywhere else in the house. Usually when you see colonial molding here, you're going to see that colonial molding on your doors. And I always pick this apart when I talk about this. This should be more of a shaker style door, because if you look right there in the kitchen, what do you see? Shaker style doors. When you look at the front door, what do you see? That's a shaker style door. So they missed on the interior doors. That's my gripe here. Man, what a small gripe. Again, look at the door hardware. We've got this wood floor coming back. Master bedroom is big. You've got nice lights next to the room. I love this accent wall. And again, kind of reminds me of grandma's house. Old school, what they would do, the reason that shiplap walls are a thing is because they used to put up shiplap walls on the inside of houses, and then they would cover them with fabric wallpaper. And then when people started buying old houses and renovating them and they pulled the fabric wallpaper off, they were left with these wood walls, and they found out that when you did a whitewash on them, it gave it a really cool effect. And so that's what they recreated here. They didn't try to do a wall that, you know, where they hid all the imperfections. You can still see the knots in there. When I say it feels like you're going into grandma's house, it really does. Literally for me, it feels like grandma's house, because that's not perfection. And it's not supposed to be. That's what a shiplap wall is supposed to look like. I'm just amazing for me. I love that. Bathroom. Bathroom's not huge. Doesn't have to be though. Okay, you go from this craftsman old school house into a modern bathroom, but it feels right. Why? Because they did black on the mirrors around. Okay, they stayed with the shaker painted cabinets. Okay, back in the 30s, 40s, you probably would have seen some marble floors in nice houses. Okay, so we did that. Really nice shower. I guarantee you didn't see a shower like that in the 30s and 40s. And then the closet, notice we carry the tile into here. There's not carpet in here. That's a big thing for me also. The closet's got nice built-ins. Drawers, you don't have to worry about bringing your own chest of drawers. Shoe storage, plenty of room for hanging. Not a huge closet by any means. They probably should clean up the on-cue box, but anyway. Not a huge closet by any means, but a lot of room in here, especially when you look at the extra storage here with those drawers. All right, so let's take a look at, you know what? Let's go upstairs before we hit the kitchen. By the way, guys, this video is going to be long because there's so much more to see outside, even outside of the main house. Walking upstairs again, it feels like going into grandma's house. Okay, notice they did that exact same treatment with the shiplap in here. They did it up these walls. And I know there are going to be people that watch this video and they're going to go, shiplap is overdone. Everybody did it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But this isn't shiplap for shiplap's sake. This is shiplap for detail's sake. Again, when you have a house that's a craftsman house and you're going upstairs, imagine back in the day, and my house that I grew up in was a prime example. That house was designed to be one floor living only. And then upstairs, there was a really steep staircase that went up, and upstairs was storage. It was not designed to be a living space. That's why you see all these old Victorian houses and craftsman houses with attics and second floors that have those sloped ceilings in them, because those weren't designed to be living areas. They were just designed to be storage. And then again, over time, what happens is people renovate them and they turn them into living areas. So imagine you're walking into a storage area right now, up these stairs, very utilitarian pipe handrail, and you're going up these stairs, and in the old school days, it would have had shiplap on the walls because that's what they put on the walls in the storage areas. And now you've got it coming up both sides of the stairs. And this area right here, this landing area, full of windows, full of natural light, and full of that shiplap all the way around. Again, it feels like it should. Look at those beams up there. Now, I can't say that those beams are necessarily craftsman. That's more of a lodge feel, but it feels right. It feels good when you walk up here. Another thing that I'm going to point out, when we came up, I mentioned the treads a while ago. Those treads are oak. And now I'm going to back up and show you this upstairs is hardwood oak. That's old school, 1 3/4 wide. Maybe it's 2 1/4. But hardwood oak. Again, what you would have seen in most houses around here, that second floor, like the one I grew up in, it would have been pine. I would have loved to see pine here, but that's probably more like a $1.5 to $2 million house. Oak is a little easier to get, a little easier to finish. Now up here at the top, we've got an office area. Went with an old tile. I can't fault them. I like the way it looks. But they have this as an office area. This could be an additional bedroom. It could be a 4th bedroom here in the house. Got a closet back over there, attic access there. And it's looking out backyard. Okay, you got roof here, but you can see the backyard, and this lot goes back deeper. And we'll talk about this after a while, but they've got some raised bed gardening back there that's organic. But I'm going to show you in this room too. They ended up going vertical with the shiplap. And notice all the little carriage lights they have up here. Very cool area. And then we're going to go to the ceiling. V-groove ceiling, painted ceiling. It almost feels like you're in an old or on an old porch. Have I mentioned that I'm geeking out on this house? I love this house so much. And then on this side, we're going to have 2 bedrooms. Good sized bedrooms. Way big enough for a king size bed in here and additional furniture. Reasonable closet. Not huge, but big enough, especially for a guest room or a kid's room. Let's hang on to that bathroom. It's a Jack and Jill. All right, here's the other bedroom. Again, way big enough for a king size bed here. May not be able to get a desk in here as well, maybe a small desk under the window, but this one has a bigger closet than the other one. And then, I love this bathroom. Again, it feels right. So you've got the old hex tile, and I know that was a thing back in the 30s. Double vanity, but it's pedestal sinks. It feels good. It feels right. Look at the mirrors. What you should expect to feel. This is an experience in this house. Okay, subway tile. I don't know if that was necessarily I know it was in subways, but I don't think they were putting it in bathrooms. But you know what? Okay, we're not going to be perfect in here. There's a little extra storage in here as well. I'll show you back here in the attic. That's where that new water heater is. So you got some storage on the ground in here. I'm going to kill that. And then we'll just turn around. And again, I pointed out a few times, but the door hardware is throughout. Let's head back down. By the way, guys, I know I'm probably a little bit more on details than most realtors. So if this is the kind of help that you're looking for, especially if you're out of state or out of area and you're trying to find a home, these are the types of videos I do for my clients. So if you're trying to move here 9 days, 90 days, 9 months, doesn't matter, reach out. I love doing this stuff for clients. All right, let's take a look at this kitchen. Glass display. You're going to have to be a cleaner person than me if you want glass cabinets. But even the granite, it just feels like a different type of granite, right? Wolf stove, it feels like an older school, older school type kitchen. Really, really nice overall, just a good feel. Now, we're going to go outside. Oh, by the way, you do have the ability to talk to people in here while you're in the living room. That's what that cutout's for. Oh, My camera mount is being a little crazy on me. All right, so as we stop out here, again, details. Look at the big brick patio area through here. It's not concrete. Concrete wouldn't feel right with this house. That's what feels right. Yeah, am I being really picky when I say, man, it would be awesome if they did a brick driveway? Sure. Again, $1.5 to $2 million house. Yeah, you can probably get that done. All right, so big secret right here. Built-in casita through the breezeway. Okay, concrete floors, 1 bed, 1 bath, additional casita. You need a guest area. That's it. Same types of cabinets, hardware, everything else. Nice rustic feeling granite. Big shower. So built-in guest quarters. Probably not like a mother-in-law suite because you're not going to have room in here for a couch and things like that. But regardless, really nice guest suite. Or that older son or older daughter that you're tired of dealing with, be a good spot to get them out of the house but close enough to keep an eye on them. All right. Hop into the garage real quick before I show you the rest of the property. Really good sized garage. It is a 2-car garage, but it's got some good width on it and good depth. You're not parking an F-350 in here or a Suburban necessarily, but just about everything else, you can get 2 of them in here. Ooh. Now, let's take a walk to the back. And this is why you live on an acre. This is why people move to Dripping Springs. They want the room. This is the backyard. Giant playscape. Fruit trees back here. Big area for the dogs to run around, kids to run around. It's like a giant pen for the little kids. Put them in here, close the gates, let them run. And then this is the area that I was talking about earlier. Organic garden beds back here, and you can get stuff like this done when you have the room. Because look, you've got a lot of beds, you can grow a lot of different vegetables in here, and you're not taking up the entire backyard like you do on a smaller lot. And then speaking of the smaller lot, this lot's an acre, which that's big, but it's not huge. All right, there's your next door neighbor. But look behind you. There's nobody there. That's why it's so quiet out here. I usually wrap these videos up with my face back in front of it, but not at this time. I'm sitting out on the front porch again and just wanted to reiterate a few things for you. If you're looking in Dripping Springs, for somebody that lives here, obviously I want you to give me a call because I don't think anybody knows this town quite like I do. But that goes for the rest of the Austin, Texas area as well. And if you are in this area looking at $1 million, this is the kind of quality that you should be looking for. If you need a bigger house, yeah, it's going to cost you more than $1 million, or if you can find one for $1 million, it might not be quite as nice. Maybe you need a swimming pool for $1 million, and that's going to change things too. But a lot of times what they're not going to have is they're not going to have these big lots in between them. They're not going to be sitting on an acre. They're not going to have the detail. But again, if that's what you're looking for, that's okay. The main thing that I need you to look for also is pay attention to those property taxes, because again, 1.5% here versus 2.5 or even 3% in other parts of Austin. You're talking $10,000 to $15,000 difference yearly, every year on your property taxes, and that's a big deal. But anyway, guys, again, if this is the kind of content that you like, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. And if you need help moving to Austin, give me a call.